Rueben Tchetter reports on Canadian Forces Day at the military museums. The day was filled with events dedicated to veterans and members of the Canadian military. The unveiling and dedication of a giant propeller was one highlight of the day.
Canada recognizes the first Sunday in June as Canadian Forces Day, and on this beautiful warm Sunday afternoon, the Calgary Highlander Pipers were laying down a tune. The military museums in Calgary recognized the day with live-action swordplay, reenactments of the Northwest Rebellion and the Second World War, along with an unveiling ceremony of a giant brass propeller, or screw, from HMCS Huron. The screw symbolizes the dedicated service of veterans and members of Canada's Navy.
The screw, as it's called, comes from the HMCS Huron, and the boat's now decommissioned, and so they've removed the screw and they brought it out here, and it was restored by museum volunteers and staff. It's also to honor all the engineers, or stokers as their nickname in the forces, but also to symbol the Navy as well, and but particularly that trade for all the work that they've done.
The event brought together politicians and veterans alike. Stories of battles and of the good times past were traded as the pipers played on. The symbolism and acknowledgement of the screw was well recognized by the veterans, though some of their stories were better left in the past.
It wasn't a fun thing to do, I'll tell you that, because you're going right into the thick of the fire, and I was at D-Day. So I went into the thick of it. That's about it. That's about all I'd like to talk about. I don't like to remember it all.
Other memories, however, were not as easily forgotten. Some of the buddies that Hutch served with were gone, but definitely not forgotten.
Fisher was the only one. He was from High River, from the St. Croix, and he stayed up on top and refused to go down below. So he was saved.
Today, members of the Canadian Forces recognize the commitments and dedicated service, and are still proud to serve and protect Canada, where and when the services are required.
Go proudly, but for now we're just going to do our training, keep up the good work, and like I said, I'm proud to be a Canadian soldier.
For New University Television, this is Rueben Tchetter reporting from the military museums.